Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun scroll saw project video, have an amazing fall and animal theme combined project. Really cool. Here in my neck of the woods in Burlington, North Carolina, the coloration of the trees and the leaves and all is really starting to show up, and it's so beautiful and peaceful to just drive around town with the music going and seeing the leaves flying through the air, but really cool. I've already got the pattern photocopied and attached to our material with clear packing tape at its full size. We're going to stack, cut, and make 2 and finish 1 in this project video. Here is the design. It is 3 beautiful horse portraits that are in leaves, and once all 3 of these individual pieces are done, we're going to cut out another leaf out of 3/4 inch material and attach it to give it a beautiful rustic piece. It's going to be one solid combined piece, but really cool. I've done this project years and years ago when I very first started scrolling, and I had an older scroll saw back then. This was way back in my late teens, and it had the Allen key blade change, and I got so burnt out on scrolling that what I did when I originally made this was cut out the main areas and then took a wood burner and wood burned all the detail. So when I was going through my pattern catalogs that I have out here in the workshop, I wanted to come back and really do this project and do it justice. Keep in mind, I have already spray painted the backer boards for this project here in the cooler months. It takes a long time for stuff to dry. I do not have that summer heat that I like to have to quickly dry projects. So to just save some time, I have already spray painted the backer boards, which are also 1/4 inch plywood. And the pattern in question comes from the old Creative Woodworks and Crafts Magazine, pattern section number 2 of the September 2004 issue. For those curious, I'm sorry, but I do not know who the pattern designer is for this project. If anyone knows, please leave it down in the comments below so I can properly credit them in the video description. But as I said, I was going through patterns and found this beautiful pattern and photocopied it. But really cool. I'm really excited to make this again. Since everything is prepped, let's head over to the drill press, drill all the pilot holes for our project so we can come back to the scroll saw and start scrolling. And over here on the drill press, we're going to begin by drilling all of the pilot holes for the projects. And this pattern does have several internal cuts, and we're going to take our time over at the scroll saw and get everything cut out. This project also has a lot of veining in it, where you just simply run the scroll saw blade into a line and then back it back out to give it some great detail. I am using number 5 ultra reverse scroll saw blades for all of the cutting on this project, and they are cutting through the material exceptionally well. I'm stack cutting 2 pieces of 1/4 inch material here, and then the later central piece will also be cut with the same type blades. Once again, I'm unsure of who designed this pattern. If anyone watching recognizes the style of the pattern or who the designer was, please let me know so I can properly credit them down in the comments below. Just going through here and taking my time and letting the blade do the work. Since we are in the middle of fall, I just thought this project would be so appropriate. Horses are beautiful animals. I've got to ride one before. It's been several years. I've got to pet them. I've got to feed them. You know, I've got to brush their manes out when my aunt used to watch horses out in the country. But really cool. They're beautiful, majestic animals, and they're just a sight to behold. But just going through here, getting everything cut out so we can proceed with the project. Like I said, when I made this project years ago, I took the easy way out and done these big cuts on the outside, and then took my little hobby store wood burner that I used back in the day to just sign the backs of projects with my name. I just took the wood burner and burnt in all of the finer details. Now going through here and cutting out all of the pieces and removing them from the waste wood. These are the final outside cuts. And I felt the blade getting dull at that time, and it was time to change it. But continuing on. It's so nice to have everything you need right there at you when you're scrolling. That way it doesn't break up the flow or anything. Doing the final horse portrait here
And then you will see that I use the same blade to cut out the actual 3/4 inch piece that everything will be glued to, doing the veining in it. And this is just 3/4 inch pine that I had. But once we get done with this piece, we will remove all the pieces from the waste wood and take one each of the horse leaves over to sanding. Everything came out great, and we are using 100 grit sandpaper in the palm sander to sand the front and back of both pieces, of all the pieces actually. And now we will stain everything with Minwax wood stain, making sure I get into all the crevices, and then I'll wipe it down with a piece of t-shirt material, and I'll put all these on hooks to hang in the air to dry, and I'll let them dry around an hour while doing other stuff in the workshop. And after everything was dry, it was time to glue everything up, and I used medium grade CA glue here. And the spring clamps and the strips of wood just help hold everything down and add pressure to the central details. CA glue kinda dries on contact, but I still like to make sure everything bonds properly before continuing, and I let this all dry around 5 minutes before removing the clamps. And then we come and got the final scroll work in by trimming once again around the perimeter and releasing all the horses from the waste wood for the final time. If you guys like what you're seeing, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel and also follow me over on Instagram at Artisan Pirate. I'd really appreciate the support. But once all these were cut out for the final time, it was back to staining, and I stained around the borders and blended everything in as best I could to give it a visual look that this was one solid piece of wood and not two pieces glued together. And again, I set these up to dry, and they dried about an additional hour like before, and then it was time to come back and assemble it for the final time. And I'm using some blocks here to help elevate and raise the horse leaves up to a level surface. And once again, I will use CA glue, and this time I will use the activator to lock everything in place. But after everything was glued up, I still let it dry around 5 more additional minutes, even with the activator, and came back and gave it several coats of Rust-Oleum clear gloss for protection, and the project was complete.
And here we have the completed fall leaf design, complete with a horse portrait in each piece, and it came out fantastic, cut out completely on the scroll saw. Thank you to whoever designed this pattern. If anybody knows who designed this pattern, please let me know down in the comments below so I can properly credit the designer of the pattern in the description box. As I said at the beginning of the video, this pattern came from the old Creative Woodworks and Crafts magazine that is sadly discontinued now from way back in 2004, and I only have the pattern pull-out section out here. I do not have the magazine, so I can't go back and read the article and properly credit the artist like I would like to. So if anyone knows, please let me know. But it came out fantastic. It took me around an hour and a half to scroll everything out. There is some tedious cuts in this project, but they are so worth it with the end result we have here, with all of the veining that is in each of the horse portraits here and in the central leaf here. Again, I made this project years and years ago, but I only wood burn the details into it and cut out the main sections here, and I think this just blows it out of the park from what I've done back when I was a teenager. So I'm really happy with it, and the clear coat we added at the end really brought everything together and nice and uniform. Now the front of the piece is still a little bit tacky. As I said, we're entering the colder months and it takes longer times for things to dry, so I will have to flip this over in the morning after it completely dries and clear coat the back side here and let that dry, and then add the hook to hang it. But it came out real great day's work out here in the workshop. Of course, while other things were drying, I was working on other things. I really had fun making this, and I hope you guys like watching me make this. This would be a perfect gift for anyone who loves fall or just horse decor in general or lives out toward the country. Really cool. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and also follow me over on Instagram at Artisan Pirate. Links to all my social medias as well as ways to contact me will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.